have you, Ambassador, with us. We would love to welcome you to give us some reflections and opening remarks about, climate security and how we can de-risk it using South-South collaboration. So, Ambassador, please to the floor.
Very close. I would agree. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon to all the distinguished speakers here, guest speakers. On behalf of Concepts, Commission on Science and Technology for Sustainable Development in the South, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to our distinguished speakers, guest speakers who are sitting here. This session, leveraging South-South collaboration and cooperation. This is de-risking the climate security is an event, sideline event that has been organized by Concepts to throw light on different perils that surround this climate change. And in this regard, we have invited a number of specialists and experts to speak on this occasion. We have among us Mr. Rakib Suarez, who is a great friend and a big investor. He is the chairman of Orscom. Orscom is a telecom giant. Everybody knows about it. He's a great friend of Pakistan. He has done big investments in Pakistan. He is still there, and he has been investing in Pakistan for almost like 20 years now. We have among us the Chairman, Coordinating Council of Concepts, Professor Ashok Khalam. Professor Ashok Khalam is the chairperson of the Network of Science and Technology Centers of Excellence of Concepts. We have 25 centers of excellence, as you can see standing over there. Concepts, basically, it's a intergovernmental organization of 27 member states, equal in terms of membership as EU. But we have one very distinct feature, and that is we have 25 centers of excellence. The concept of Concepts was conceived by Nobel laureate Professor Abdul Salam, a physicist, great scientist. He founded this organization in 1994 with the help of 18 countries which he himself brought. The overarching objective of Concepts basically is to bridge the technology gap and knowledge gap that exists between the developing countries and the developed economies. And the activities that we undertake at the Secretariat and coordinate and facilitate basically are the activities that are designed by the Centers of Excellence and by our experts. We have some statutory bodies, but I'm going on to leadership. So, Concept basically aligns its activities with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And also, we provide the advisory and the tech-based solutions to the member states who are facing challenges, not just climate change, but also in a number of areas. Our centers of excellence, we have made clusters of these centers of excellence. Although each one of the centers of excellence has its expertise in a variety of areas, but some of the centers of excellence have identified topic in certain areas, so we have clustered them accordingly. So we touch upon almost every area, every field of science and technology. In the last 29 years, it's been like 29 years, Pakistan has been hosting this secretariat in Islamabad. It is a matter of pride for Pakistan and for the Pakistan that such a big organization has a secretariat in Pakistan. Inshallah, we look forward to working closely with these experts and all the other other experts in different fields like health sciences and many other areas, cybersecurity, IT. We touch upon all these areas, and we have activity plans accordingly to benefit our member states and all those who want to benefit as well. Now, Global South, basically South-South cooperation has its own value in the sense that 85% of the world population is in the South-South, not the Global South. And almost 40% of the world GDP is with the Global South. And I think this is a very significant characteristic of South, and that speaks of itself that why South-South cooperation should be very important. Now, South-South cooperation, this concept actually spearhead, does not mean that we are only confined to dealing at this Global South country, but we have a triangular cooperation also in which we cooperate with the Global North countries also, because they have the technology, they have advanced to Ireland, so we want to benefit from that. We have our international organizations as our partners also, and for this event, today's event, I want to express my profound gratitude to the Ministry of Climate Change, Government of Pakistan, for facilitating this event today and the event on 10th. So I'm very grateful to them also, especially the Federal Secretary for Education. So these few words, I just want to give a food for thought by mentioning a couple of things that have a very deep impact in the domain of climate change, especially the climate security. May I request all the people here in this hall to please observe silence so that we can benefit from the expert comments that will be coming. So I am not an expert on climate change, but I have tried to read through the papers that have been submitted by a number of experts and the organizations that are actually pursuing these goals related to climate change. I want to invite attention to the speakers, to those who are working in this area, that I think we need to look into military side also, how the armies and the militaries of the world, how much they are contributing. And I was reading a writer's report, and in that report I saw that 5.5% of the greenhouse gases emission, they are actually contributed by the militaries across the globe. And moreover, I think there are few countries, advanced countries, they have huge allocations for the defense. They contribute a great deal in terms of GHG's emissions. I think this is something which needs to be looked into. This is not something that needs quantification as to how much they are adding and what should be done to address that challenge coming from that area, because they last protocol Kyoto Protocol 1997, they could not actually involve, or they had to accept military from disclosing as to how much fuel they are consuming and what is the impact of the military exercise they will take. And I'm not talking about the wars. Wars are greatest disasters for the climate and the environment. So I think we need to look into that also, and I invite attention to the experts sitting here and experts those who are actually working in this area to quantify something, because defense is definitely needed, but quantification is needed so that when you address, when you allocate funds, when you take the remedial actions and mitigation, those who are responsible for the degradation of the environment, they should be able to contribute that much proportionately so that the damage that has been done, that could be taken care of. So with these few words, I just also remember one more thing in the context of the country where from I come. Although I am not representing Pakistan at the moment, I am representing the concept which is an international organization. But I think this climate security linked area, which is very important. So one of the areas is water, because resources are stressed because of the climate change. There is irregularity, there is unpredictability as to what will happen. So the Indus Basin, that actually feeds about 300 million people. and the largest number of people population that exists in Pakistan. And I think this is where the perils of climate change lies, because the countries can enter into a conflict because of the stress that water has for Pakistan or other countries will do. So I would invite your attention, and I think I hope that in the times ahead there will be some effort in this regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. And indeed, you know, climate security and ensuring South-South collaboration is very crucial, and we'll hear soon from our experts more details about how that can be done scientifically, economically, and so on. We also have the pleasure today to have Senator Nuzhat Sadiq with us, and we would like to invite her to share some short comments with us before we move on to the panel. So, Senator, to the floor.
Excellency, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. I stand before you today to shed light on the critical role of South-South cooperation for de-risking climate security threats facing global South. As we navigate the complexities of changing climate, it is paramount for nations of South to show solidarity with each other and join hands in a collaborative effort. Climate change ramifications are felt more severely by developing and the least developed countries because of the greater incidence of climate-related hazards and the limited response capacities and lack of adequate financial and technical resources. While within already fragile settings, these impacts have the potential to escalate into security challenges. It has been estimated that climate change could force migration of 216 million people due to water scarcity, low crop productivity, and rising sea level, exacerbating existing tensions or creating new ones. Furthermore, women would be facing the most severe impacts due to climate-related security risks. Therefore, South-South cooperation is vital for aligning our responses to climate change with conflict prevention and peace-building actions. Building on our regional strength for climate action could provide us valuable opportunity to strengthen cooperation, rebuild trust, and de-risk climate security threats. The existing institutional, technological, and financial gaps in overcoming vulnerabilities to climate changes in the global South should be tackled by mutual cooperation and economic integration. In this regard, we must focus on key action areas, including climate adaptation, building financial and technical capacities, and shaping international agenda on climate change through solidarity and coordination. Regional integration strategies in the South need to aim at not only regional growth and development, but also at building regional resilience to climate change. Therefore, a comprehensive regional climate adaptation strategy in the South needs to be designed to support and complement country-level climate adaptation plans. Furthermore, for implementation, it's a necessary condition that we support each other in raising financial resources and building technical capabilities. Likewise, South-South solidarity is also required to ensure that adequate efforts are made in different international fora to strengthen our collective voice in international climate negotiations. We need collaboration on green industrialization policies to achieve energy transition, resource security, and low carbon agriculture and food security. The looming threat of climate change poses serious security risks to the entire South Asian region, impacting critical sectors like water resources, agriculture, and overall environmental stability. Taking cognizance, we must strive to support and formalize bilateral agreements between regional countries for sustained cooperation, covering joint research, data sharing, and coordinated responses to climate-related emergencies. It will also foster a a sense of shared responsibility, crucial for navigating the complex challenges posed by climate change. In our fight against climate change, Pakistan, despite limited resources, has revised its nationally determined contribution, NDC 2021, to set an ambitious conditional target of overall 50% reduction of its projected emissions by 2030, with provision of international finance. Pakistan approved its first ever National Adaptation Plan, NAP, in 2023, with a major focus on nature-based solutions. We have also started robust natural capital restoration efforts, including the Living Indus Initiative, deforestation programs, Recharge Pakistan program, and Protected Areas Initiative, PAI, etc. In the end, I would urge all stakeholders to show enhanced political will and commitment to South-South cooperation for collectively addressing the challenges posed by climate change. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Senator. And indeed, South-South collaboration is crucial to de-risking climate security. And here we are here today now with our panels of experts. We will be having this brief discussion for the next 40 minutes or so about South-South collaboration and about the different challenges and also opportunities for us as South countries to work together and achieve global climate security. So, of course, we have today with us a group of experts who we will be entertaining in the panel, starting with, of course, Filip Novakovic, who is a special development economics expert, as well as United Nations advisor and also Cambridge scholar. So, Filip, of course, you've been working on ensuring climate economics and stability, and I would like to maybe start with you with the first question to talk a little bit about briefly share with us your perspectives on leveraging South-South collaboration and also some initiatives and research findings that highlight the potential impact of international collaboration on climate and environmental sciences.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for the invitation. It's such a great pleasure to be here at the pavilion, and I'm very pleased to actually be talking to all of you since I have so many friends from Pakistan, both Cambridge and London, and Serbia, where I'm originally from. I just wanted to, first of all, provide some background on some of the issues we're facing, both in the global south, but also around the world, really, because this climate crisis that we're all trying to mitigate and we're trying to take action on is really an interconnected crisis that has so many angles to it. And without collaboration at its heart, we'll never be able to achieve desired outcomes that we're all here bound to create. So in terms of just the overview, if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, which is the agenda for the UN by 2030, only 15% of the goals that we have set in 2015 on the Paris COP have been met and are on track. And that is very concerning. And what we need to do is actually take an integrated approach, not a siloed approach, towards all these goals. And obviously, one of the largest goals of this is mitigating and adapting to climate change. So, what we need to do is that we need to create synergies within and between countries in the global south, but also partnerships with the global north in a new way that's going to really catalyze change and really bring this new agenda that's going to allow us to finance and to adapt to this changing world. In terms of the landscape on finance, I want to introduce this very positive fact that last year we actually, for the first time, reached $1 trillion in financing for climate-related projects. This is entirely new. It's a huge event that has happened, but we need to look at the broader picture. We require $8 trillion every single year so we can be on track to do 1.5 degrees of the Paris Agreement. And in terms of the $1 trillion that was spent, we need to consider that only 2% has been spent on the least developing countries. And if you look at the global south versus the global north perspective, only around 20 to 25% of the $1 trillion was spent on projects in the global south. So something is missing in this partnership, and clearly we need to reimagine the way we finance things, and also we need to create new incentives so the development institutions in the north actually start financing new projects and start implementing new frameworks into financial valuation, into financial issues that are related to development finance and also to trade, which is absolutely vital. And lastly, I just wanted to point out in terms of trade itself, trade is an absolutely vital thing for poverty reduction, but also for mitigating climate change. It's necessary for development because trade has by itself lifted billions out of poverty. But we need to consider the way trade is done, and we need to create new partnerships because right now we have, especially in Africa, but I'm sure you have similar issues in Asia. Trade is very segmented, and we do not have partnerships between the countries, especially the ones which are listed as your member states. So I wanted to point out that, lastly, trade is a powerful tool, but we need to do it endogenously, and we need to create economic growth endogenously. We cannot depend on exogenous inflows of capital anymore, because without endogenous growth and capacity building within institutions, within communities, within corporations, we will not reach, first of all, the development we want to see in the global south, and we will not reach the climate targets. And lastly, we must say the global south countries will be the hardest hit by climate change. And the global north is not going to build anything back. It's the reality it is. So we need to consider how we can work together and really develop a new framework on these issues. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you, Philip. And you know what you're saying about trade and collaboration transitions perfectly to Mr. Najib. We will have you with us today. It's a pleasure. You are the executive chairman of Verascom Investment Holding, also the chairman of the advisory board of La Mancha Holding, also the chairman of Aura Development. Very wise experience in investments, in also business. And as we are talking today about South-South collaboration and achieving climate security, we would like to hear from a business perspective and entrepreneurship perspective, what are the opportunities that we have today in the global South countries, and how we can achieve this South-South collaboration. So we would love to hear some reflections from you in that sense.
I'm glad we get this opportunity because climate change has been hijacked by the leftists and communists and capitalists like myself. People believe that they are not entitled to have a conscience or to understand that this global warming and net zero emissions are very refined goals that we need to deal with, each human with even his capacity, and even if we have different let's say opinions. I work in two main fields. So I'm one of the largest investors in gold mines in West Africa. I'm also one of the largest developers in Egypt and many other countries. So what always struck me that we are always trying to rectify and say, okay, by 2050 we are going to be net zero. But meanwhile, there are new projects coming all the time, and they're just polluting as they come. So I always think that we should have a legislation that says, and I would say what we did, because legislation that says that you cannot start a new mine or a new development, real estate projects like the ones I do, if you cannot confirm from the beginning that you are going to be zero carbon neutral and you will respect the environment. Because usually we do the project and then we try to rectify. So we have in our mines in West Africa, although we were not pushed by anybody and nobody demanded us for us, we made a 5-year plan that all of our mines in West Africa within the next 5 years will be carbon zero. So we are substituting all our power stations from gas and oil to solar. And I'm now engaged in 2 big mega projects, one here in the Emirates, in an area called Antut, you know. We intend to build the total project from day one should be net zero from the beginning. And the same, we are building a city near in the outskirts of Baghdad. We will do the same, even if there is no legislation. It's a matter of having a conscious and this. I think we all, you know, in the beginning, some people were laughing about climate change and the global warming and all that. They think, say this is bullshit. And Africa, I understand in Africa when you speak with them because they can't eat, they don't have food, they don't have medical, they don't have social. So when you talk to them about climate change, they start to laugh because they say, look, I have to I have to have food for my family, I have to have a job, I don't find a doctor to treat me, and then you come and talk to me about climate change, you know. So what? I believe that now, when people start to feel that the summer has been shifted for 2 months and that the winter is not as cold as it used to be, and that water is evaporating, and we all have lack of water in rivers, you know, like a country like Iraq, most of it, they were depending on many rivers, they've all dried out. So it's not anymore a hypothetical issue or something we can ignore, you know, and it's touching on many people's lives. So basically, being the good-hearted capitalist that wants to do things right without any enforcement, I still would like to see legislations coming out in every country that no new projects should be given the approvals unless they confirm from the beginning that they are going to be network. Thank you.
Thank you. And indeed, as you said, private engagements and investments is a must in this. And very important point you talked about how in the South countries we need to combine the sustainability vision with the development vision. So they can't go against each other, they have to go together. So examples of how we can, you know, still develop and achieve sustainability either in Africa or in other regions is very crucial. So this is, I guess, the double crisis that we have to achieve. So moving on to you, Professor. Of course, Professor Ashraf Shahlan with us today. He is the chairperson of the Coordinating Council of the Intergovernmental Organization COMSATS, and he's also the member of the Egyptian Presidential Specialized Council on Education and Scientific Research. He's also the former president of NRC. Of course, Professor, when we talk about leveraging the South-South collaboration, one very aspect here, which is talking about research and evidence-based research, and also making sure we have enough data relevant to our situation. So we'd love to hear about this situation when it comes to the South-South, and also your reflections about how we can collaborate together scientifically, since we are talking about South-South collaboration to achieve climate security.
Thank you, and happy to be with you today. I'm talking about the South-South collaboration. We are concentrating too much on climate change since 2015, when we met and decided to start centers of excellence of climate change in the ready-to-go countries affiliated to the COMSATS So we started in 2018. Personally, in Egypt, I declared the opening of the center January 2020. Then COVID started, so we slowed down some time. Then we started back to work hard to address our goals. our goals here are very interdisciplinary. So people, experts in water are working together across the centers of excellence in our member countries. People working on renewable energy are working together, and etc. The only field that was very unacceptable to give too much effort in it is the health and medical field, although it is one of the most important aspects in the climate change effects. But at that time, 2020, the COVID started to draw the attention of the people, of the governments, that it is a real problem. It affects lives, it affects everything, it affects the economy. So they started to hear to us that health is one of the most important aspects for climate change combating. For you to know, maybe I'm coming from a medical background. Basically, I'm a pediatrician. So, climate, yes, pediatrician, I'm working in climate change. And this question, I was asked from the highest authority in Egypt. What are you doing now? What is the relation between health and climate change? Maybe 5 years ago. So later on, year after year, the question is going to answer by the situations and the pandemics and etc. So climate change affects cardiovascular system very severely and seriously. Anginas and heart failure and other things due to the heat, strokes, and due to the droughts and flooding and flooding affects the respiratory system because of the air pollution and affects the lives of the elderly, especially the elderly and children and pregnant women, and they suffer a lot from air pollution and effects of air pollution on their lives. Affects the kidney, affects the eye because of the solar rays, affects the skin and causes cancers because of the high temperature and the rays. Affects the maternal perfection of giving the good nutrients to the babies during pregnancy, and affects many health issues. On the other hand, it affects a lot psychological and mental health of the community. You know how the feeling is when you have very limited land to use, very limited water to use. People that are displaced from their houses because they are in a coastal area and they have to move from these coastal areas. We are talking about all the world, not a specific country, because COMSAT's representing all the South. We are 27 countries now. So some people are suffering from water scarcity, some people are suffering from energy scarcity, etc. So this takes us on the evidence-based research, which is now being collaborated between the centers of excellence in different countries. We are eager to work together, and we are already working together, trying to convince more and more key persons in our government to help us in mobilizing the funds for this direction. Also, we have made great achievement in thematic research groups specific for each aspect of the climate change. within our countries. So this is what we have to do, and this is what we have to support: the inter-governmental, inter-institutional relations to help us help each other. You know that funds are not available in most of the South countries, so we have to utilize our funds perfectly and augment our funds to have good results from our expenditure on the climate change combating projects and on the research and development based solutions for the climate change problems that we are facing nowadays. And they are easy, and they have a lot of efforts, of course, on every aspect of our lives. So this is what we are doing in ComSats, and this is why I'm here. I skipped from the Egyptian government to come to have my support and brilliant idea about what we are doing here and support the ComSats activities in this aspect. I'm working hard to give something for the humanity to remember us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. And you know, the health impacts you talked about, and you know, medical doctor being myself as well, you know, looking at the hospital, looking at the local communities and how that climate risk affects them. Recently in Morocco we had a recent earthquake, and you see how the local population, those vulnerable, so those are the ones that need our support the most. And science and what ComSats is now trying to focus on getting data that is relevant to our local context is very, very crucial in that. So thank you for sharing your perspectives. Moving on to Professor Song. Of course, Professor, you are the Deputy Director of the International Center for Climate and Environmental Sciences, as well as the Institute of Atmospheric Physics, Chinese Academy of Science. So you work a lot on development of Earth system models, numerical simulations, and seasonal climate predictions. So Professor, a lot of issues related to science, and here today we're talking about climate security, and we're talking about how can we achieve South-South collaborations. So what are some scientific findings or good practices that you find that in collaborating together we can achieve this climate security, including, you know, prediction and early warning systems? So Professor, would love to hear your perspectives on this.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm pleasure to be here. I'm from the International Center of Climate and Environmental Sciences. ICCS was selected as the representative center of China to join the network of Center of Excellence of ComSats in 1995. On behalf of China, ICCS became the first center of excellence of ComSats. Professor Lin Zhaohui, director of ICCS, is currently a member of ComStats coordination community. ICCS focuses its research on the key scientific related to the global climate and environment changes. The main research fields include four aspects. The first is the development of the global Earth system model and the numerical simulation. The second is the meteorological and environmental forecast and the related disaster assessment theory. And the third is the data simulation theory and methodology. And the last is the Earth system theory and natural cybernetics. Currently, there are more than 60 ongoing research projects in our center. ICCS has comprehensive international cooperation with research institutions in the developing and developed countries. And it is one of the first test training center for international students. Regarding today's topic of de-risking climate security, our center can contribute to improve the climate prediction with our CAS Earth System model. The CAS ESM is a global Earth System model. It consists of 8 sub-models, namely the atmosphere model, ocean model, land surface model, CS model, the dynamical vegetation model, and the aerosol and the atmospheric chemistry model, the land and ocean biogeochemistry model. And all the sub-models are coupled together with the coupler. And the CAS ESM2 has participated the coupled model in the comparison project phase 6. The overall performance of our model ranked at top of the CMF 6 models. Based on the CAS ESM2, we developed a seasonal climate prediction system which can predict the sub-seasonal to seasonal climate anomaly, including the extreme events such as the heat wave, the droughts, the flooding, and the dust storm. Now this system has realized a real-time prediction. It successfully predicts severe droughts over Yangtze River last year and the extreme flooding over North China this summer. Accurately predicting extreme climate events will help us to take necessary measures to reduce the risk due to the climate change. We are willing to share our climate prediction system to other South members to improve the skill of climate prediction in their countries. Besides the CAS ESM is the key software of the Earth Lab, which is a major new Earth system numerical simulation facility developed in China. Consists of Earth system model and a powerful supercomputer. Now the Earth Lab has been opened to the public. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we will hold a satellite event with the topic of climate and environment prediction on the Earth Lab in China Pavilion. We have prepared some small gifts, so welcome everyone to participate in the events. You can ask my colleague, Dr. Cao, for to get the more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. And yeah, as you said, it's really important to us as a global South countries to invest in those early warning systems like models, and also share these technologies with each other, because if we have such prevention models, we can prevent earthquakes like we had in Morocco, floods that we had recently in Libya, and in many countries, when you see the impacts of those climate risks. So investing in this prevention and detection models is very crucial opportunity for us. As time closes by, I would kindly try to have some final reflections from our experts today by asking one final question for all the panelists today. As we are looking into climate security and South-South collaboration, what do you see as the biggest opportunities for us as global South countries to invest in the future to ensure development and sustainability in our countries? So please, maybe we can start with the professor and then going on to the other panelists.
As an international center, I think in the future we will, as I mentioned about, we will share our climate prediction system to the other Kansas member countries to help them to improve the prediction skill of the climate, the future, the seasonal climate, especially the extreme events.
Yeah, so scientific exchange and investing in early warning, very important. Thank you, Professor. Moving on to Professor Shahlan.
I guess the most important part of this, let's say, window of opportunity should go on three levels. The first level, the governmental level, and intergovernmental organizations. We have to concentrate very much with having more than they are doing now, because until now the SDGs goals are not yet met, and it's not expected to meet its proper time. So we have to give more force on the governments, and not by any loud voice, but with evidence-based research, with the facts that the cost of doing nothing is more than the cost of doing something. I think this is one of the aspects of the level of the government. Then again, on the level of the institutions and the NGOs, it's part of their social responsibility to invest in these activities. And lastly, at the level of the individual, it is very important to be on board also, because they have some very crucial action to take on the individual base for the water, for the electricity, for all the resources that we use without care of the individual needs. So these are the windows that I would like to stress upon, and these are the weapons what we need now to think globally and act locally. This is the issue.
Thank you, Professor. Think globally and act locally. The cost of doing nothing is higher than the cost of doing very wise work. Mr. Sawiris, to you the floor. Share with us some final reflections.
The South countries have a lot of things in common. High population, natural disasters that happen all the time. I don't know why they choose the South to happen, but mostly it happens in our part of the world. So one crucial thing that I find missing always is the exchange of solutions. Like countries who have, let's say, had an experience with multiple floods, they could share their experience, their mitigation, their solutions with the other countries in the group. So we are all prepared. And another country like Indonesia, who went through a tsunami, they need to share this information, how they are now preparing for the next tsunami if it happens, and so on. So we can all transfer the knowledge to each other, each at his own disaster, let's put it this way. Because it's not happening, and it could save a lot of money, create a lot of jobs, and create a lot of opportunities, and really show if we want to make this South House operation successful. This would be the first step. That each country first scans what catastrophes, natural catastrophes, did they go through, and then what are the solutions existing. Are we far from a solution that can predict earthquakes, or like the professor said here, maybe there is some prediction methodologies coming nearer and nearer, so we can predict earthquakes and save lives. That's my main point and my main concern. If this can happen, it will make this association very successful.
Indeed, sharing and exchange and networking and creating this global community where we can, build on each other's successes, and very important. Sharing is caring, indeed. Thank you very much. And finally, Philip, would love to hear your reflection.
Two key things that we need to invest in. First of all, people. Second of all, policies that will enable and empower these people to participate in this transformation of the economy. and really use this huge opportunity that we have, because climate change is a huge challenge, but listen, it's a huge opportunity in terms of business, economically, socially, and most importantly, environmentally, for us to improve both the development stage of the country, but also improve the society as a whole. So in terms of why do we need to invest in the people? The people who have and are being affected the most by climate change have contributed the least. And they have a lot of knowledge, internal knowledge, on how we can mitigate this. If you think about what's going on right now in the UAE, Abu Dhabi is the capital of green capital. They opened an exchange for carbon credits, the only exchange in the whole world where you can trade carbon credits. So if you have people on the ground, does not matter what their background is in Pakistan, you can engage them in the development and deployment of carbon credits and create local initiatives and local businesses which will be able to restore land and restore new areas of the country and sell this in Abu Dhabi on the global market and make a profit out of it. And second of all, the policies. Why are policies important? If we do not have a proper policy environment, we will not be able to enable these people to access both the resources they need and also knowledge they need to act on climate change and to protect themselves from the devastating impacts. And of course, this will impact industry overall. This will ultimately lead to economic decline. So policies, which internally, as I was saying before, it's all about internal growth, but also partnership within countries from the global south, with partnership within the country itself, between regions. That's going to enable us to tackle this challenge and really enact the changes that we need to help the global south thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. And as you said, investing in people and doing that together as countries of Global South, very, very important aspects. I want to again thank all the panelists for sharing their wisdom and expertise with us and very valuable reflections. As time goes, unfortunately, we don't have much time for questions, but I would like to invite Mr. Ambassador Nafis to share with us some final reflections and closing remarks so that we can finish our session. So, Ambassador, to you the floor.
Thank you very much. First of all, my profound gratitude to all the distinguished speakers. Professor Chang, you reminded me of your place when I said it last month. Wonderful project, I must say that they have done fantastic in this area, and we would like Khan is open to share the expertise as Mr. Savaris has mentioned. They have sent this thing to me to share the expertise with all the, not just the council member state, but also those who are engaged. Mr. Karan, thank you very much. Honorable Savaris, thank you. Philip, very valuable. I think everybody has contributed a comment about what should be done. I think what we need is a commitment. What we need is policy, which Dr. Philip also said. And we need basically some sort of accountability and sense of responsibility from those who have been instrumental in the degradation of the environment. I think the most important part of climate change is the monitoring, the evaluation, mitigation. I think this is what is required, and this commitment should come from all the countries, because one important aspect that is directly linked to the climate change and the disaster, the security risk that surround the climate change, are the people. Because they are people who are affected. gratitude again. I would like to, I see the Honorable Minister of Petroleum sitting here. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. You have actually made our day. So, at the end, I would like to distribute an acknowledgement certificate to our distinguished speakers, and I would like the Minister to please join us. And
Okay, so of course we would like to thank our panelists for joining us today, and we have our Honorable Minister with us today also to give thanks to the panelists. So starting with, we have Mr. Najib Sawiris. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we have our certificates for you, sir.
Sir, can we have a photograph also? Done, sir.
So we have also memory for you to share as part of the ComSat's family, Mr. Sawiris.
before you actually leave us.
So can you yeah.
Our next panelist, Mr. Philip. So thank you very much again, your certificate and memory from the ComSat family. Thank you very much. We have, of course, now you are a member of the ComSat's family, and our third esteemed panelist also, we will be calling very soon to also join us and get their certificates and souvenir from the ComSat. Professor Sana, we're happy to call you to the floor. Some round of applause, please.
सर सामने देखिए
Okay, and last but not least, we have Professor he's on with us. Also, thank you for joining, and please join us to the stage to receive your certificates and souvenir with everyone's round of applause.